Hey, well, welcome back to another episode of the Newt News Podcast. It's myself, Sandy, and Andrew as always, but we're joined today by Max Rajcic. Really excited to have you, Max. Max, if you kept projects, Max is drafted in the 6th round of the 2022 MLB draft and had an incredible first season. Professionally, 2.48 ERA in 23 starts, and made it all the way up to Doublea last year and was named Minor League Pitcher of the Year for the Cardinals. So, Max, thanks for joining us today. How's your offseason been so far?
Off-season's been great. It's going quick. It's crazy. We're already in February 4th, I think. Today's February 4th, yeah. But, I mean, it's going quick. Just super excited to get back to the season and just excited.
Yeah, it's great to hear. We're really excited to watch you at spring training. So starting off, we'll go kind of in chronological order of like your baseball career, baseball life. So in high school, this is something fun that I like to ask pitchers. So you were a shortstop with a 55 grade hit tool and a 58 grade power tool, and you slashed 353, 577, 588 for a 1.165 OPS. So when going to college, why did you decide to choose to become a pitcher? And I know you grew up an Angels fan, and you got a chance to maybe see some two-way action up close. So did you ever consider playing both ways once you got into college?
I mean, being in high school, I always thought myself as a hitter. I always worked more hitting, I would say. I didn't really work on pitching. I was better at pitching, but I always wanted to be a hitter. My dad made a batting cage for me when I was in 3rd grade, so I'd always hit off the tee. He would throw me batting practice. We had a pitching machine, so I always considered myself to be a hitter. And I went to UCLA, and they kind of told me you're not gonna hit. I was kind of sad about it because I was hitting all off season, and then they're like, all right. They were like, oh, I was making my gloves, and they were like, oh, can I make an infield glove? And they go, nope, you're just going to be a pitcher here. And I was like, darn it. But cool fact, though, my last career at bat was a home run, so it's a good way to go out.
Let's go. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sandy, you got the next one?
No, Andrew, I thought that was you, WBC.
Oh, okay. That's my bad. So you played internationally in high school as well, in 2 events representing Team USA at the international stage. Tell us about what that was like representing the U.S. And do you ever have goals of playing internationally again, like in the WBC?
Yeah, it was an honor to play for my country. I mean, hearing the national anthem now, I still get goosebumps hearing it when we won the gold medal in Panama. But, I mean, it was super cool to wear USA on your chest and play for more than yourself, playing for your country, playing for everyone back at home. So it was awesome to explore the country as well. I went to places that I'll never probably ever go, like Panama or Korea. So it was really cool to, see a different culture there. I mean, it was awesome to meet, people. I met a couple cool guys I still talk to, from Team Australia or even, we even talked to the Team China. I mean, we couldn't really talk to him, but I mean, we saw him in the hotel, so it was really cool.
Yeah,
it was cool to see. I mean, we went to Taiwan as well, and the way they play baseball is crazy. They're very they just do all their stuff super robotic. I don't know how to describe it, but they're very passionate about their game, and it made me really appreciate baseball, and it was awesome.
That's so cool. It's amazing how baseball has grown into this international game from something that really was just an American thing, 75 years ago. And so, if you got the opportunity, I guess, later down the line, could you see yourself participating in a WBC event?
Oh, yeah, that'd be a dream of mine to do that, just to represent USA once again. I mean, I got to do it as a high school twice, so it'd be awesome. And I don't know, it'd be really cool. I mean, it'd be a way more fun spring training, more competitive, more seasoned. So, I mean, it'll be awesome. I mean, I watched it, and I had a teammate of mine, Joseph King. He's with the Cardinals as well, and he was on Team Britain, so it was really cool. And he said he would do it again for sure. So I want to be on Team USA, but it was seeing Lars Nootbaar, and when he was on Team Japan, that was really cool. And Adam Wainwright on Team USA. I mean, a lot of people say that was the most exciting, best baseball they played in their career. And Mookie Betts said that too when he was on Team USA. I mean, and he's been in a couple of World Series, so it says a lot about what the WBC is about.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it was a surprise to like fans and players alike just how much fun this version of the WBC was. It had like some World Cup vibes, and it was a ton of fun to watch, at least on the fan side. And everything we've heard from players has been so positive.
Yeah.
But we're kind of circling back a little here to your time at UCLA again. So you got there and you started as a closer, but then they turned you into a starter later on. What was that like, transitioning from the bullpen into the rotation? Was the preparation really different? Can you just give us a little insight on that?
It wasn't really too big of a change for me, I would say. My whole high school career, my whole life, I've been a starter. So
Okay.
it was honestly harder to go from being a starter going to a closer. So I think that was the biggest adjustment. But I mean, I liked both. Both are awesome. But if I had a preference, I'd pick starting because you know what you're going to do. You have your routine. You know, you can go golfing on days, because like, oh, I'm not pitching this day. I'm pitching in 5 days. So let me go hit the links or something. So it was really cool seeing both perspectives. I feel like closer, you're more big dog mentality, and starting more zen, but you also have that big dog mentality, but you can't be too crazy when you're starting. You got to be more controlled. So I really like both, but starting is what I like the best.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so UCLA has a long history of really great ball players, Jackie Robinson being one of the most notable. And more recently, there's guys like Garrett Cole, Matt McLean, guys who have come up through that college. So did you face any particularly tough competition or play with any teammates you think could be future stars while you were in college?
Yeah, I played with Matt McLean in college in my freshman year. So it was really cool to see him and see what he's doing now in the big leagues. Great guy. He was really good. He was one of our captains, and he helped a lot with the freshmen. And he really made it comfortable to be at UCLA, and he's a really good guy. I mean, there's a lot of good guys on our team. We had a couple pitchers on our team, like Nick Nastrini. He's up and coming. He just got traded to the White Sox. But it was really cool to learn from Coach Savage and hear like the perspective from he's Coach Bauer, Garrett Cole, all these greats, and then it was really cool to learn a lot from him in the 2 years I was there.
So one of like the best rivalries in college sports, one of the most storied, is UCLA versus USC. And I'm sure you're aware that Lars Nootbaar is a USC grad. Will there be any bad blood between you guys in spring training or later on in the season, perhaps?
I mean, there's always going to be bad blood with UCLA and USC, but it'll be jokes and all jokes. I mean, big game, like a football game coming up, we could probably talk some trash, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're still the same team, trying to get the same goal, win the World Series. But I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously, being UCLA, I think we're the better LA school, but he probably thinks UCLA stinks and USC's better. But I mean, how can you not like West LA, Beverly Hills, Bel Air? It was awesome at UCLA.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love that. It's going to be so much fun to monitor. But we just want to take a moment real quick to thank today's sponsor, Tracy's Karate. Tracy's Karate has been serving the local St. Louis community since 1969, specializing in private lessons for practical and effective self-defense instruction. Private lessons allow Tracy's to teach anyone, focusing on your personal goals and your own learning style. Try out a free half-hour private lesson today. Call 314-821-0555. That's 314-821-0555, or visit tracys.com for more details. It's a great opportunity to learn valuable self-defense skills, and if you decide to sign up, let them know the crew at Newt News sent you. Again, that phone number is 314-821-0555, and the website is tracys.com. This will help you put any attackers on the DL. All right, we're back now.
That's awesome.
That was good.
Thanks again to Tracy's Karate for that one. So Max, you were drafted. Yeah, you were drafted by the Cardinals in the 6th round. So tell us a little bit about that process of what it was like to get the call to be drafted, and then maybe even, I mean, it's a lot of people are unfamiliar with that negotiation process looks like, and the decision to go pro or go back to college. So what was that like? And then just kind of like that whole process of becoming a professional athlete.
Yeah, so it was actually a wild day, actually. So, I mean, I was a sophomore eligible to get drafted. And I was expecting going to UCLA and didn't really expect to get drafted, or I didn't hear too many calls on the first day. But then second day came through, got a couple calls. I was just I was at lunch with my mom and my brother at like a local sandwich shop, and I get a call from my agent, and he calls and he's like, the Cardinals want to want to draft you. And I'm like, let's do it. I feel like that was a great team to get drafted to with the history and just like I've heard nothing but good things about the organization. So yeah, I come back and I tell my mom, yeah, I just got drafted to the St. Louis Cardinals. And yeah, it was an awesome memory for sure. And then called my dad. He was at work. He was like, why didn't you tell me you were going to get drafted? Like I would have been there for you. And then, so yeah, it was cool to like hear my name get called. And I'll never forget that for sure, where I was, or I called it. Yeah, it was super cool. And had my friends come over that day and kind of like left for go to Palm Beach and the next day. So it went really quick, and it was an awesome. I mean, I've dreamt of this to happen ever since I've been a little kid. So it was really cool.
Well, that's really cool. I feel like there's a lot of guys who get drafted and kind of have to go like through a long process of figuring out if they want to sign or not. So that's cool that pretty quickly you got to jump right into it. But yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, so cool. Sounds like a bunch of great memories were made. And, flash forward a year, it's been a year of great memories. You're outstanding this past season in the lower levels. There's really no other way to put it. Interestingly, you're only the third pitcher in Cardinals history to win Minor League Pitcher of the Year in your first season. You join Anthony Reyes and Rick Ankiel in that category. Can you tell us what were some of the biggest takeaways as you reflect back on your first season?
Yeah, just honestly knowing how long the season was. I think college season's like 60 games, and going to 60 games for like 132, 140 games is a big jump. So just trying to get your body ready and healthy for every start was a challenge at first. And once I got the routine and talked to a lot of older guys and talked to the training staff and all that, I got my routine down and made life a little easier, and it was awesome. I mean, being around the game a lot, watching 132 games. Obviously, I'm not pitching in all 132 games because my arm would fall off. But
yeah,
just watching the game, like calling the game in my head, just learning. Baseball is a crazy game. I see something new every day that I've never seen before. So just learning from it, and just learning, picking each other's brains, and it's awesome.
Yeah. So for the average fan who hasn't got to see you pitch yet, what would you describe as success on the mound for you? What are you trying to accomplish when you're out there? How would you describe yourself as a pitcher?
Yeah, I would describe myself as a guy who's always going to compete. I feel like I'm a big competitor, and honestly, I'm a big competitor in anything I do, playing spike ball, pickleball, anything. Like I'm competing. Some of my friends hate me for that because I'll take it to another level. But a guy that's going to compete for sure and give it its all. I mean, I got 5 pitches now. I got a fastball, curveball, sweeper, slider, whatever you want to call it, or a changeup, and a cutter. That cutter's a new pitch I've been working on, and it's a little sharper slider. I wanted something to be more firm to go the other way, so that was cool. But I throw a lot of strikes. I compete, and I'm always going to give it my all. I'm always going to help my team, give my team a chance to win, and just attacking the zone, throwing all 5 pitches now for strikes, and trying to get ahead of the count, not getting behind. At UCLA, we were big at 2 out of 3 pitches or strikes. So the first 3 pitches, 2 strikes. So 1-2 is a big difference than 2 and 1. Yeah. And you want to stay out of those hitter counts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you just mentioned that you were developing a cutter this offseason. That's really exciting news. When did that start? What played into that decision? And did anybody influence that?
Yeah, so I was talking to the Cardinals, and they really wanted me to develop a harder slider. But I really like my slider. I've also made it better. I just started learning it kind of like last year, so it's improved.
Dang.
And I think just to have another like a harder pitch, because my slider and my curveball are kind of the same velocity.
Okay.
Curveball's like low 80s, like 79, 81. My sweeper slider is like 80, 83. So I feel like if I can get a harder pitch, like 86, 88, I want it to be 90, but I'm still learning the grip and stuff. But it'll be a pitch I'll throw more to righties for sure. And I probably won't throw to lefties, but having the cutter to my arsenal is it's going to be big, I think.
Yeah, batters beware.
Oh, go ahead.
Goodness.
I was
batters
going to say
you go.
No, I was going to say you talked about the righties versus lefties, and that's one of the things I found really cool about you as I was looking at your splits last year is that right-handed and left-handed hitters basically hit 570 OPS off you. So you're not a platoon guy. Lefties don't have an advantage off you. What does that look like for you to attack a right-handed batter versus a left-handed batter? Obviously, you're adding that cutter into the mix, but what has helped you be so effective against guys on both sides of the plate?
Yeah, I honestly I like throwing the lefties more, just because I can throw my curveball. I feel like I can throw it at the back foot. So my curveball is my best pitch, and just having that like window open in the I can just throw it like in their back foot, and I don't worry about it. And I don't know. I just think my curveball is my best pitch, and throwing the lefties I'd rather do. But I mean, righties I like throwing my slider now, throwing it like their back hip, and then letting it break, and also throwing up and in. The Cardinals really like told me to throw up in the zone because I have a lot of vertical break on my fastball. So I think that was one of my biggest strides I took last year, actually, because college I was kind of throwing down the zone, and the Cardinals looked at my data and they're like, no, you should be throwing up in the zone. You should be a north-south guy. So throw the fastball and tunnel off at the curveball, and that really helps make me the pitcher I was last year, and going to continue to do that next year or this year.
It's really interesting to hear the way that the Cardinals have used analytics in your development, because that's something that, from an outside perspective looking in, at least, it feels like they've been lacking in that department until very recently when they brought in some more analytically minded people. In what other ways have they influenced your development in the last year here?
Honestly, the Cardinals are really good with letting you do you and try to become they want you to like figure out stuff. But I mean, we have a lot of technology. We have TrackMan in all our bullpens and Edgetronic, so it's really cool to see, like in pen, like my slider, I was working on it. I wanted to get more sweep, so I was just seeing how it was coming off my finger. And for me, when I'm throwing my slider, I like to have it come off my index finger last, and that's when I feel like it's the best. So just like watching video and just like honestly, it was good. I've never really had TrackMan or Edgetronic, so it was really cool to see. And the Edgetronic is really cool because you can see like the last finger or the last, like when you throw the ball, you can see what fingers hitting the ball. It's pretty cool.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And so on the flip side of analytics, obviously, it's the more personal side of development. And that's kind of where your old school guys fit in. And historically, the Cardinals have been known for having just amazing mentors throughout the system. Are there any influential figures, particularly with your development?
I'm sorry, you cut out there. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying,
yeah,
on the flip side of the analytical development, there's kind of that old school feel mindset. That's where you kind of have your older baseball minds. And the Cardinals historically have been known for having these great mentors and coaches throughout all levels of the minor league system. Is there anybody you can point to as like a specifically influential, mentor figure in your development?
Yeah, I had a lot of good coaches growing up. I really like the Cardinals too. Like they're old school, and they also bringing in some new school. They're not too like new school and like just data driven, which a lot of teams are. I heard about that being around like people this offseason, which I'm kind of glad that we're not like that. But I mean, it's also good to learn from the new school and old school and blend it. So that's what the Cardinals are doing. I really like that. But I mean, I have a lot of good coaches like Savage. I had a pitching coach in high school. I also have a new pitching coach out at home. I've been his name's DJ Simonetti. He's the boy. And just like training out here in Arizona, I've been training Tim Naiman out here in Scottsdale, and he's really changed the way I work out and go about like my routines, my business, and like getting ready for recovery and all that stuff. So I really appreciate all the coaches I've had that made me, and my dad. Got to shout out my dad too. He's a really good coach. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be playing baseball. And yep,
That's awesome.
Had to shout out my dad.
Yeah, so there have been a lot of really exciting Cardinals prospects throughout the system. I'll just throw this up on the screen right here. We did our end of season awards, and you won Sandy's like most exciting best prospect. So that's something cool to see.
That's awesome.
But what are some of the other prospects down in the lower levels that you've played with that Cardinal fans should be excited about as well going into this season?
I mean, I think Cardinals' future's looking pretty bright. We have a lot of good pitchers, a lot of good hitters. Cooper Jerpy for sure. There's a lot of guys like Pete Hansen, Bryson Motts, like all my draft class. I mean, a lot of guys are looking good. A lot of good hitters. We got Juan Bincho, Bernal. There's a lot of guys that can go name. I'm super excited to play with them again. I miss them. I miss listening to Bad Bunny in the locker room, and I've been actually listen to a lot of Latin music. I made a little Latin playlist, so it's been I'm excited to get after it this season.
Yeah. So you had a meteoric rise last year. You made it to 3 different levels, and obviously you got to pitch in Springfield, but your debut came in a playoff game in relief. So tell us, that's not typical for someone to make their debut in a playoff game. What was that like? Like, even just hearing you're getting called up to Springfield and then jumping right into some important game action there.
Yeah, so we lost in playoffs in high A, and the coach brought a couple of us in, and he said, if they make the playoffs, we'll go to I'll be having a plane flight Sunday night or Monday morning, and yeah, they made the playoffs, and I got to Springfield probably like 10:30 at night, and the next day I'm throwing. So it was crazy. I'm just like being ready to get after it and get going. I mean, I was sitting around my apartment in Peoria for a couple of days alone, so I was just watching college football and NFL Red Zone, so it was pretty fun, and just trying to work out in their little gym because no one was there to play catch with me and stuff. But yeah, I was ready to go and throw in Springfield. It was awesome, and that was like one of my goals for sure to end of the year to make it to Doublea. And I was a little nervous I wasn't going to be able to do it, but I got to do it, so I was excited for that.
Yeah, so you were in A, high A, and double. Obviously, just one appearance in Double-A, but you hit 3 levels this year. What is some of the differences you noticed, if any, going up even those 3 levels? Because that's something people talk about as you progress through the minor leagues. There's maybe some differences in pitching, hitting. What was that? Did you notice much of a difference, or was it mostly the same game to you?
I noticed a little difference. The hitters obviously bigger and stronger the more you go up, and they got a little better approach. And obviously, it's the same game though. It's 60 feet 6 inches. The fence is still the same. Baseball's still the same. Dirt's the same. So the whole game's the same, but it's just a different level, a little higher, a little faster. I noticed, but I mean, it was really cool to be in Double-A and experience it and get a taste. And I'm really excited to see if I can start there this year, or I'm not too sure where I'm gonna start, but it was awesome. I really like Springfield. Went down there for the caravan and met a lot of fans, and they're really excited for the season, which was cool to see.
Yeah, so we'll throw in a question from the chat here from Jason, and just kind of ask you what your pregame routine looks like as a starter.
Ooh, pregame routine. Thanks, Jason. Let's see, pregame. I like to eat a lot of carbs for breakfast, so I make some oatmeal. I'll have some avocado toast, some eggs. I don't really like eating a big lunch, so I may have like an acai bowl, so for like a snack, and I'll have like a protein bar. And then yeah, so I have like an hour and a half to stretch before the game. So I do foam roll, stretch, dynamic warm up. I do some bands. I do plyo balls.
Nice.
Some breathing work and just like getting my arm prepped and my body prepped, and then with like 30 minutes left, start playing catch. I don't go too far, like 150, 175 feet the most, depending on how my arm feels. The more I go out, the better my arm feels, and just trying to get it like more loose, and then sit down for a little bit, drink some water, cool down, because it'd be hot in the summer in the Midwest. So just trying to cool down because I'm a big sweater, and then just getting ready, just throwing pitches, each pitch like 3 times. I go 3 fastballs up and in, 3 fastballs down and away. Then I throw some curveballs, and then whatever I feel like I need to work on, I'll throw a couple more, and then it's go time.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. We're excited to see you as one of the non-roster invites at spring training this year. Hopefully, we wish you the best of luck with that. So, what's a player that you're excited to face this spring, or maybe even looking forward to the major league level? Because there's going to be a lot more like tougher competition with some of the guys down at Jupiter.
I mean, honestly, it'd be really cool to face Goldschmidt or Arenado. They've been doing it for so long. It'd be really cool to face them. Hopefully, I get to face them. That'll be really cool. And they're like one of the 2 best hitters in MLB, and it'll be a challenge to get them out. I mean, I'm glad they're on the Cardinals and I don't have to face them actually, but it'll be really cool to face them and just compete. They're gonna compete. I'm gonna compete, and we're gonna see. It'll be just a game, same game, 60 feet 6 inches, like I said.
Yeah, absolutely. Spring training is so much fun. We absolutely cannot wait for pitchers and catchers to report, and that's coming up really soon, actually. So it's something, we've got it marked on our calendars. You mentioned, though, at winter warm-up that you had 3 goals coming into 2023. And, I'm wondering, can you share some of your goals for 2024? If not, I know, you got to keep some stuff secret. If you can't do that, at least tell us, what does a successful spring training for you look like this year?
Successful spring training, I would say just like being a sponge and soaking it in, learning from all of the pitchers that we got. I mean, we got Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn. We got a bunch of arms that I'm really excited to learn and just talk to and like learn about the game, because I really like being a student of the game. I feel like the more you learn, the better you are, the better player you're going to be. But I'm super excited for spring training, and I don't really like mentioning my goals until I get them done. So my 2023 goals were to throw 130 innings, make it to Doublea, and be the Cardinals Minor League Pitcher of the Year, which I'm a real big believer in writing down your goals, and just January 1st, every January 1st, I write down 3 goals, and I just believe in them, and if you keep believing in yourself, you can get your goals done. So I'm a big believer in that. Always has been. My mom told me to write down goals when I was little, so I did that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So 2 quick questions that we want to wrap up with. First, you mentioned a bunch of those veteran pitchers that the Cardinals have added this offseason or just have internally. Is there any of them you're specifically looking to get to know a little bit and learn from? Maybe one that maybe your pitching style is a little bit more like, or just anyone in particular that you're like, once I get down to Jupiter, I want to connect with this guy?
I'm really excited to learn from Sonny Gray. I mean, I'm not the tallest pitcher, so is he, and it'll be really cool to see. He's been doing it for a long time too as well, and I really like pitchers that are not too tall, because it kind of like Marcus Stroman, Sonny Gray. Those are like my 2 guys I like to watch, because I'm like 6 foot, which in normal life that's pretty tall, but like in baseball it's kind of small. So it's just cool to see what he's doing, how he gets his body ready, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool. This offseason, he's talked a lot about some of the stuff he's wanted to bring to the organization too. And I think he mentioned on the phone with Mozeliak, he mentioned some things that the Cardinals hadn't embraced yet. And so I'm interested to see even in spring training if there's some things that'll be different than maybe your experience so far with the organization. One more question on the back end too. Brady threw this in the chat, but is there a specific player, coach, person in the organization that stood out to you that's helped you grow as a player? I know you've mentioned some coaches earlier, but I don't know if there's one or maybe a story that you could tell of a time that someone's really impacted your career so far from within the Cardinals organization.
From the Cardinals organization, honestly, Luddy, Ryan Ludwig, he's a hitter. I got to talk to him a lot this year, actually, at the Caravan. He was in my Caravan, so it was really cool. I like to talking to hitter coaches too, because they can hear their perspective, and I'll ask them questions like, this count, what are you thinking, or what are you looking for this count? So it was really cool, and hear from that side of the game too. I mean, it's awesome to hear from pitching and hitting. So as a hitter too, I kind of expect, I know what to hitters think, kind of. I mean, I wasn't the best hitter. Obviously, that's why I'm a pitcher now. But just hearing from both sides, it's really cool. I mean, I really had a lot of good coaches. Bernal, they're all a lot of good coaches. But yeah.
Well, Max, thanks for taking some time with us today. We really appreciate it. Now you can introduce yourself to people, not just as Cardinals Minor League Pitcher of the Year, but Sandy's most exciting Cardinals prospect as well. It's a pretty prestigious award
Sandy.
right there.
Absolutely. Hey, appreciate what you did for the organization this year. Can't wait to watch you next year.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this year. It's gonna be a good year for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a date set to go down to Jupiter yet?
Yeah, I'm flying the 13th.
Okay, so you're going soon. Well, we're excited to watch you pitch. We hope you get to spend a lot of time at big league camp this year, and wherever you start, whether it's Doublea or somewhere else, wish you a ton of success this year. Again, guys, thanks for joining in and watching the podcast again today. We've got another episode coming again Wednesday and some awesome content planned for the spring. Thanks again to Tracy's Karate for sponsoring this episode, and Max, good luck this season.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for joining us.